are looking like a well-run club at the moment, and it seems no one is going to find a formula on how to stop them anytime soon. They humiliated Real Madrid, the former European champions, former world champion Real Madrid, played against the PSG, and it was a game that a lot of people were looking forward to see who indeed is going to make it to the final of the World Club Cup competition taking place in America. And Real Madrid going into this game, as an experienced team that has won a lot of trophies, and the leading European champions, going into this tournament against the reigning champions, PSG, winning the Champions League for the first time. It was a game that everyone was looking forward to. Who is going to meet Chelsea in the final? Who is going to play in the final? And indeed, if any team that is going to become victorious in this match will be the team that will carry the final. And once again, PSG demonstrated that they wanted it more. They demonstrated that they had a team that everyone will be looking forward to beating in this tournament and in any other tournament that they're going to be participating in, because they are a team that is well organized, a team with a solid players, from the defense to the attacking line. It seems they have that synergy and they are winning games. So playing against the Real Madrid side that is trying to find their balance at the moment with a new coach, Xabi Alonso, who came in from Bayer Leverkusen. It is going to be a very difficult thing for Alonso because, coming into a different team with a different structure and a different system. And I say this all the time, that what works at Bayer Leverkusen might not work for Real Madrid, because Real Madrid is a well organized and one of the biggest teams in the world. So when it comes to running Real Madrid as a manager, it takes a lot of patience, courage, and boldness for you to be able to do that, because you have players who are at some point are going to stand up against your style of play. And I think that is what is happening to Xabi Alonso at the moment. Xavi came in and he came in from Bayer Leverkusen, and there's a lot of expectation because he's a young coach with great potential. He won the league with Bayer Leverkusen for the first time, and coming into this team where Ancelotti, who is an experienced coach who won a lot of trophies, playing for coaching different club sides in Europe, and coaching Real Madrid to Champions League winner medals, La Liga and all that. So it was going to be difficult for Xabi Alonso to fill in that gap, because you're coming in to coach players. The ego is high. You have a lot of players who are not going to accept your ideas. So it's going to be difficult for you to just be able to build a team and implement your own ideas. However, we have to wait and see at the beginning of the season to see where Real Madrid is going to head in. But if this performance, we are to judge by this performance against PSG, I can tell you now that they are looking like the shadow of themselves. The players are not playing. It seems they're an amateur side. Playing against the PSG side that is very, very organized technically, very organized. In every department, from the coach to the attacking to the defense. You will see how the young players were running the show against the Real Madrid from the beginning of the game to the end. They made sure that they put Madrid under immense pressure. The pressure was to a point where the likes of Rudiger were making mistakes and, conceding goals in the process. And losing 4-0 against PSG was just too much for a Madrid side that is known for winning these trophies, winning these competitions. Although this is the first of its kind since the revamped of the World Club competition. However, Madrid have won this trophy a lot of times. So going into it was not a shock. Going into it to go and defend it, going into it to try and win it was actually a way to help the coach also understand the players that he's going to be managing in next season in La Liga, and that trophies that he's going to be playing in Champions League competitions and all that. However, he was unable to keep up with the PSG side that, these guys at the moment, I don't think there's any team that is going to stop them. They played against Atletico Madrid. They gave them 4-0. They played against Real Madrid in this competition. They gave Madrid 4-0. And they played, remember, 9 men against Bayern Munich. And they beat Bayern Munich 2-0. So they scored 10 goals against these 3 great teams. Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and Bayern Munich conceded 10 goals. In the hands of PSG without conceding a single goal. Yes, PSG did not concede any goal going into these the three matches as I mentioned to you now. So it seems they're very good side. And Enrique, when he was interviewed, they say that Xabi Alonso just came in. They should give him time. In the preseason, he will be able to implement his ideas. But what he is displaying now took him 2 years to build. Taking over PSG, getting rid of Mbappe, although he wanted to leave, but getting rid of him seemed like a good idea for the PSG because they went ahead to win the Champions League that they were looking for and they could not find it. And since Mbappe went to Real Madrid, we've seen how Madrid are struggling lately. Barcelona won the league last season, and Champions League, PSG won it. So you can agree with me that Enrique took his time to build and understand where the loopholes were and try to close them. Although you're not going to have a perfect team in every team, however, you're going to have a team that will strive to be perfect, and that is what PSG is doing at the moment. They are striving to be the perfect team. They are playing very well to make sure that they continue with the hunger, they continue with the same zeal that saw them won League One, won their cup, won the Champions League, and now they want to become victorious in these competitions. All right, in another match also that took place in the semi-final of the World Club competition was a match between Chelsea and Fluminense. Fluminense from Brazil, Chelsea going into this tournament in the group stage, they played against Flamengo, a team from Brazil, and that team that defeated Chelsea 3-1, and it was, I'm telling you, the noise were just too much. They made a lot of Chelsea fans cry, and they were asking, where are the Chelsea fans? And you know what? The admin of Chelsea Twitter handle just responded after Chelsea got their place in the final of the World Club competition. They say they're heading to the final of the World Club competition. That is the response that came in from the Chelsea admin, handler of the Twitter page. So a lot of Chelsea fans are actually excited because they are the ones to roast the Flamengo and the Brazilian supporters now, making sure that you are out. A lot of teams came, but we are now in the final and you are on your way home. So Chelsea played against Fluminense and it was a very entertaining game. It was a very balanced game for Chelsea, if I can use that word. It was a balanced one for them because going into this game, they gave a debut to a player that they just signed, João Pedro, who came from Brighton, joined Chelsea, and immediately he hit the ground running. His first start, and he scored 2 goals against his boyhood club side, Fluminense, but they couldn't celebrate it. They say, you know what? I am who I am today because of these guys. They took me from nowhere as a poor kid. They gave me fame. They gave me an opportunity to express myself. And today, I am playing at the highest level because this team gave me the opportunity. So you can't help but admire that he did not celebrate. Deep down, he was happy about it, making your debut and making sure that you scored 2 goals. Your first start for the club. So I look forward to, seeing him do more great things for Chelsea. So they played that game against the former defender Thiago Silva, who is now playing for Fluminense. But it wasn't, he could not prevent Chelsea from, winning that game because it was a game of the young versus the old. A goalkeeper who is well over 40, Thiago Silva, who is 40 himself. So playing against a youthful side of Maresca, it was going to be difficult for them to keep up with them, and the Chelsea demonstrated that they are actually representing the English football. So Chelsea became victorious. They were victorious over Fluminense, and they are in the final of the Club World competition, which is going to be taking place on Sunday. All right. So Chelsea are going to play against PSG. It's going to be playing against PSG in the final of the World Club competition on Sunday. And I want to get your views. I want to get your predictions. Tell me what you think is going to happen in this game between Chelsea and PSG. It seems the two teams that are informing this competition are in the final. And you can agree with me, Chelsea taking out the Brazilians. The teams, with Brazilian teams are known for playing good soccer, And this competition, they don't take it lightly. They play with everything in them. And Chelsea taking them out on their way to the final. And PSG also, they are flying. Like I mentioned earlier, winning against 3 top teams in Europe, scoring 10 goals without conceding a goal, and getting to the final to play against an English side. It's going to be a very tough. It's going to be a very entertaining. It's going to be a match that a lot of people are going to be looking forward to because we want to see who is going to stop PSG. I personally will say to you that I see PSG beating Chelsea in the final. I mean, I'm judging based on the form that they're in and the way these guys are playing. You have the likes of Hakimi. Hakimi is a defender who is involved in over 30 goals this season. I mean, this is insane to see a player, a defender playing at that level. And you don't know one thing I admire so much about the PSG side? They're a team that is not afraid of going out there and getting what they're looking for. They are not afraid of attacking. They are not afraid of anything. They just go out there and they enjoy their football. And they are sure, the zeal, they maintain the same fire. That is why I admire about these PSG side. On the Chelsea side also, you have players that are beginning to find themselves. Players that are beginning to, play like they understand the system and the ideas of the coach, which is a good thing. So I'm looking forward to enjoying this game. It's going to be intense. This is where I think the game is going to be won. If you're going to be able to dominate the midfield, you will take the day, which is something that PSG did against Real Madrid. And it's something that Chelsea also did against Fluminense. Chelsea having the likes of Fernandes and, Caicedo in the midfield. And they also have Santos on the bench there. They have Lavia. Lavia missed the last match, but chances are that he'll come back. And that is where the game is going to be won. If you can be able to dominate in the midfield, then spreading it will not be a problem because they all have creative players. PSG have Ousmane Dembele, who is also very creative, scoring goals, striking back. Chelsea also have the likes of Kopama. These guys are going to be able to, this is where they are needed the most. We want to enjoy the game. We want to see an entertaining football. We don't want to see a one-sided football because what we saw against Real Madrid versus PSG was just one-sided. It was a game that PSG went in it to win it, and they were attacking from left, right. They made sure that they attacked Real Madrid and they got the result. So I want to see a balanced game. I want to see a game where PSG will dominate, Chelsea will dominate. There will be a lot of attempts. There will be a lot of saves. There will be a lot of, let's see the fight, the real fight when it comes to this fixture. So the fixtures is going to be a very entertaining one, and I'm looking forward to enjoying it. And I'm saying to you, I'm not supposed to be predicting, but I'm leaning towards PSG because they are complete. They have a lot of quality in their team, So you cannot argue with anyone who's playing in the World Club competition final. They have a lot of great teams like Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, your Real Madrid. They couldn't get to the final, but these two teams are in the final. So no matter which side they are coming from, it's still a competition. No one went into this competition to play because you hear a lot of people online saying that Chelsea have it easy. They did not have it easy. They played the toughest teams, some of the toughest teams, and they are now in the final and they're playing on Sunday against PSG. So even if Chelsea don't win, believe me, they have accumulated a lot of money, over 80 million pounds in this competition so far. And if PSG win, a lot of money is going to be for them as well. They have over 100 or something million, which is good. It's good for these guys. Instead of them to be on holiday, they are here making money for their club that is paying them, which is a good thing. So here we're going to see the tactics. We're going to see the determination, and we're going to see the team cohesion. That is what is going to carry the day. We're going to see the cohesion from PSG and Chelsea. If they are indeed to win, anybody who want to win must stick together, must understand each other, and must make sure that they keep the same anger and hunger to make sure that they win this trophy. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of these short soccer highlights and conversation about what is going on in the World Club competition that is going to be taking place on Sunday, a final that we're all going to be looking forward to watching. After that final, I'll be here to talk to you about some of the mistakes, some of the excellent decisions and performances that are going to be taking place. Whatever it is that is going to be emanating from that final on Sunday, I'm going to be here talking to you about it. Until I come your way again, stay blessed.